afternoon all. Tales for Wales team catch and release, back up on the Birch a week later from when I had the 4 fish, and I'm out with John, who we've already met from the Paviots Mill fish with a 30. We're actually on completely the opposite bank, 180 degree opposite of the bank, and unfortunately it's a 180 degree turn in the weather. Before we, as you said, you saw sunshine. Yeah, it was blowing a bit, as we saw in the video. It blew my voice out on the first start of the video. But now it's absolutely blowing a hoolie. I've had to come inside the bivvy, bring the camera inside the bivvy to try and eliminate a bit of the wind noise. I say down with John, we're going to get him on camera later talking about one of his favourite catches up the Birch, which is going to be fantastic to listen to because he's a bit of a teller. And but I say, John's been here all day. I had to drop my little one off to school and then come straight up, hammer up the M4, obviously within the speed limit, and get up here. Rod's been out probably about an hour now. Nothing's showing. John is very vigilant, he keeps his eyes out on absolutely everything, hasn't seen anything. One of the other lads, Tom, is fishing where I was fishing last week, and he has another touch, he's been here overnight as well. So, I mean, the fish must be very confused. One minute they think it's spring, and spring has sprung and let's get on the munch. Next thing it's winter again. So, we will remain optimistic and catch up with you soon. Tales for Wales. Morning all. Nothing, absolutely nothing in the night. It was actually freezing. So me and John stayed up till about 3 o'clock, reminiscing really on some of our favourite catches. We will get them on camera. He's fast asleep now. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning. But lake's filling up now. It's Saturday morning, so you would expect that to fill up. But yeah, nothing happening unfortunately. I've spoken to some of the boys via text this morning. I said one of the boys, Tom's, had a few beeps last night and struck into it. Nothing there whatsoever. I said the weather's slightly warmer, it's not as cold, the wind is down a little bit, so got a couple of hours left. Going to stay here till early afternoon and just see what happens. But we'll get John on camera later, that should be interesting, and so catch you later. It's still early morning. John has risen for the second time from his pit. They said nothing's showing. The lake is now filling up. We're now up to 10 anglers with 2 more walking around with barrows. So we're still remaining optimistic. However, what we want to do is just something a little bit different. Going to do some memoirs of the Birch basically, and you know, just chat about some fish. So we stayed up all night last night talking like little schoolgirls, and John's story of his previous fish from here is really inspiring, really, for people who want to come down. So basically, John, give us a little spiel. What was your favourite catch from the Birch, would you say, mate?
I think it was about 2 years ago. I'd had a good winter. I'd had quite a few fish, to be honest with you. Really good winter, in fact. We'd worked out where the fish had been holding up and things like that. And so me and the boys who'd been fishing it regularly had some good fish. It was coming around to springtime, and it was one of the first warmer days of the year.
Nice. Warm days are always good on the Birch.
I'd love a warm day right now. But so I'd had a few fish, and I'd moved around onto a different position away from where the fish had been because they'd started moving around the lake a bit. So so I'd been reading a nondescript, well-known carp fishing magazine. All brands are available. And in there, it had just given this article on putting a bit of minced up bread in a PVA bag or in a mesh bag or something like that, and just using that instead. And I thought it's a bit different. And, you know, I appreciate that everything that they write in the magazines is you've got to take it with a pinch of salt, and it's not necessarily fact. They may be trying to fill the pages, trying to sell stuff, but I thought, you know what, I'll give it a go. So anyway, I sorted out this bit of bread, put it through a blender, PVA bagged it up, and I used a white strawberry pop-up. All brands are available again, nothing specific. Normal combi rig like I always use, very similar to what John uses here. And hold it down with a bit of putty, and I found this little clear patch off where the reeds finish, and the island starts to, the edge of the island rather, seems to kind of start getting a bit shallower. So I landed it in there what I would say the deeper patch just before it goes to the shallower part, and I'd flung it out there, landed it on a clear spot, and I'd left it there for probably a couple of hours. Like I say, it's a nice warm day, the fish is still in the water, you can basically grab that spring and summer is on its way. And after about 2 hours, I think, it rattled off, and you know, you're always pleased when you try something for the first time, especially if it comes out of a magazine and you're a bit dubious about it, but it worked. After a nice little battle, I had what I would call my first big common out of the lake. It was a 26 pound common, lovely looking fish. I even got Martin, the bailiff and the owner of the lake, to come up and take a picture of it. But yeah, it's probably one of my favourites. It's not my biggest out of the lake, but big doesn't always mean better, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's not why we're fishing, or a lot of boys out there fishing.
Here we are. And it's those memories, obviously, that keep us coming back here. And I say I've had some decent fish. So even off this peg and the peg where John's fishing now. There are some absolutely cracking fish in here. Big commons. And I say there's nothing massively ridiculously huge. You know, we're not after 50s, we're not after 40s. But the passion of the fish that are in here is what keeps us coming back. So we'll remain optimistic. I say both off about lunchtime. I said mine was a sneaky 24-hour session, and John's got dinner with the mother. So, but yeah, nice one. So it's always good to have John on camera. Says it how it is, basically, ladies and gentlemen, and that's what we're all about. But one bar left on the battery on the camera, and we'll see what happens. Until later, thumbs up, John. To catch and release. Well, nothing happening. So it's mid-afternoon now, just come up to midday, and the pack-up has unfortunately had to begin. Nothing happening. So there's 12 anglers now on the water, and 8 of them mows overnight. Nothing happening at all. John has done a little walk around. He's now packed up, so I think it's time for me to get off. But we said a nice little interview with John. He's so passionate about the birch, he really loves it, as we all do down here now. It is the jewel in the Welsh crown, really. So yeah, nothing this time, but I'm still living off of last week's 4, to be honest. I'm more than happy with that. So we've had some really good news for Team Catch and Release recently as well, which will be coming up soon. So stick with us until later, Team Catch and Release.